A nigga like me, man, I love the game. I love the hustle, man. I be feeling like one of them ball-playing niggas, you know? Like Bird or Magic or something. Yeah, you know, a nigga got dough. A nigga could leave the league. But if I leave, the fans still gonna love me, man? I get love out here in Harlem, man. I done sold coke on these streets, man. Hash, weed, heroin. As long as niggas is feeling it, a nigga like me can hustle it. That's my gift in life, eh? You know? What? The fuck you laughing at, B?
You, man. Funny, man. You a hustling motherfucker, man. For real, baby. You fucking killing me, man.
Well, you know me, baby.
All right, I came on your show, Colin, earlier today on the Herd and talked about this, and I just want to clarify again. Racism is an issue in America. It's a real issue, and it has real negative impact, particularly on poor people. LeBron James just experienced some disrespect. But what impact does it really have on him? Feelings may be hurt. I don't know. He wasn't there. This is a second home. I think the analogy to Emmett Till is ridiculous. Emmett Till lost his life brutally in the 1950s over nothing. And to somehow, my mind went there because in my $20 million second home in Brentwood, someone spray painted something that my staff cleaned up within hours and the police investigated, I'm sure. It's not analogous to Emmett Till. LeBron, to me here, is embracing his victimhood. It's a mistake. What happened to him was disrespectful. But again, this is not the racism that needs to be stamped out in America. This is an inconvenience for LeBron.
To me, it would have been easy for LeBron to pass on it. And this is where, in the media, we're very critical of athletes who don't embrace social issues. Even Michael Jordan, the most popular athlete. The easy thing for LeBron here to say to me would be, you know, I'm not going to talk about it. He went out, he talked about it. Now, I would admit on social media, obviously, he's going to get incredible support primarily. We all know the game. But in this instance, if we want stars to be stars and we want him to talk on social issues, it affected him directly. Should he not talk about it? I think
His staff cleaned it up within minutes.
Well,
what was the impact?
I mean, LeBron is the impact. You don't know what the impact could be. The sentiment behind spray painting the N-word on somebody's garage could lead to something worse. And LeBron James has children, all right, a 12-year-old son and maybe a 9 or 10-year-old son. He's also thinking about other incidents. Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Tamir Rice, Terrence Crutch. Poor or not, Henry Louis Gates on his own porch, a Harvard professor accosted by a policeman. Hold on, let me finish. I mean, pointing out obstacles and facts is not embracing. That's an obstacle. It's an obstacle white people in America don't have to deal with.
They never have, and their houses never get vandalized. They never hear disrespectful things to them.
When pointing out facts is not embracing victimhood, LeBron James clearly does not think of himself.
Man just said,
can I finish?
Yes, you can. And it is still my show, Chris.
I don't care whose show it is.
I do.
I'm on the set.
It's still my show. You
so that means I can't talk?
You can't filibuster the whole conversation.
You've cut me off every 6 words because I don't agree with you. You start by saying racism exists, but then every time a black person brings up racism, you shoot it down.
Because again, someone spray painting something on a millionaire's home.
He's not a victim in that situation?
Hell no.
He was victimized?
Well, it's nothing, Chris. In the grand scheme. And to analogize it to Emmett Till is a joke.
Well, I think what LeBron was doing was speaking general for the people. He wasn't saying to myself, I have it hard, I have it difficult.
No matter how rich you are, no matter how much.
Right, but he was, in general, he may have screwed his words up, but in general, I think he was talking about the people. I think he was speaking for the people. I think he brought up Till for everybody who don't know, who has not had that information or seen the pictures of it. to go Google it. Go check out how bad it has been over the years. I think that's what he's doing, using his platform for you guys to reminisce on this is a harsh word. This is a harsh situation. This is bad in America. And that's all he was doing. He wasn't saying that, you know, this is going to punish my family, it's going to punish me. I think he was just
LeBron did not have a script. You know, we do this in the media. I've had it happen.
He had no script when he's dropping Emmett Till, and we just heard Charlamagne the God. There's a script being played from by everybody in terms of social media. I get to speculate.
Okay, first of all, he came out there and he just talked extemporaneously. He's a pro athlete. I'm a broadcaster. I should be able to do that. He's got other things in his mind, like the biggest finals in the last 20 years, first of all. Second of all, when kids are involved, it's different. I think I'm fairly rational.
His kids were in Cleveland.
It doesn't matter. If you have kids, you always feel threatened.
The people didn't know that spray painting didn't know where
I'm not
his kids
objective
were.
about kids. With my kids, I'm ridiculous.
Well, let me just say this. I used to be a black kid.
Yeah.
And I've had some things said to me, very racist and inappropriate. My parents, 100% black, ain't no question about it. There was no, oh my God, Jason, we gotta stop. Someone called you the N-word, and let's see how you dealt with it and felt about it. It wasn't that big of a deal. If someone denies you an opportunity, you can't go to school here, you can't have this, you can't have that, that is the impact of racism.
Okay,
LeBron was inconvenienced, and racism affects the poor, the very wealthy, and for him to sit here and say, no matter where you are, it's tough being black. It ain't tough being LeBron James. It ain't tough being Oprah Winfrey.
A Princeton study done a few years ago by a professor at the university showed that white people and black people with the same credentials, clean record, going in for a job or applying for a job, whites are more than 2 times more likely to get a call back for the job. Secondly, when white men with a felony on their, a felony on their record. Can I finish?
Yeah.
White men with a felony on their record get calls back for jobs as much as a black college graduate with a clean record.
What are we
So
debating?
hold on, black college graduates, all of them aren't poor. Some of them are educated and come from money, and they still don't get called back more than a white felon. So don't tell me it's just about poor people.
Chris, people face unfairness in this world.
Nobody's saying
No. People face unfairness in this world. The wealthy have regardless of color, have a far better chance of overcoming whatever unfairness happens to them than people that are not wealthy. This man getting spray painted on his front door that he never saw, his staff cleaned up, it's an inconvenience. It's not racism. It's not being denied a job.
It is racism.
They didn't spray paint
jerk on his door.
He can speak out and say, you know what? This was terrible. Whoever these individuals were, it was stupid. But the people that really are impacted by this are the poor people who face discrimination.
That's why I think he was speaking for them. I don't think he was, like you're saying, so inconvenienced and he never saw it.
He immediately thought of Emmett Till.
So who are you to say that that's wrong?
I don't know. We're on a show. I get to say what I think.
If he
you get
really
to say it's
felt
right,
that
I get to say it's wrong.
If he really felt that, why? Look, when Jews talk about the Holocaust, or when Americans talk about ISIS and feeling a threat from the Middle East, do we say that's embracing victimhood?
That's different than spray paint, Chris.
He's talking about more than
ISIS.
spray paint. He's talked about Trayvon Martin.
No. In this statement here, when?
I'm talking about his whole. This dude has been speaking out for years about social injustice.
Let me ask this: what should he have said?
What I just said. This is bad. What happened? The people that did it are stupid. But let's be real here. I have a great life. The people that are poor, because again, he's not some victim.
He's not saying he's a victim. He's saying
his life ain't
He's saying black people have it tough in this country.
Black people have it tough, and
poor
his
people
degree,
have it tough
his
in this
degree,
country.
like you said, Oprah and LeBron.
Poor
Oprah and LeBron have it difficult in their type of situations. Like around people with status and are there. It's still somebody else that may come up and say something bad about Oprah or LeBron.
Let's ask LeBron, Oprah, me, Chris, you. Is there some poor white person that we would trade places with?
No.
I wouldn't trade places with anybody.
There's no poor white person any of us would trade places with. And again, you can remove race. There's no poor person.
No, I just read you from a Princeton study, one of our best universities.
You're not going to trade places with them. You're not.
Just wanted y'all to hear that. Just wanted y'all to see the whole thing and where Jason Whitlock is coming from. 'Cause I don't like to misquote people or just call people coons just because. Like, I don't really deal with that type of stuff. Like, I like to have facts behind what I believe and what I say. So let's first go to the Oxford Dictionary and look at what racism is. Because people call stuff racism, and a lot of times it's not, or we've added certain things. But basically, it's the belief that one's own race is superior, so to speak. It used to be synonymous with white supremacy or certain race supremacy, basically. From white, black, now we can get into the what's really white and what's an ethnic group. And I don't even get into all that debate about what a race is and what a race isn't. Like, I just think that's childish. I really do. I just rather just say, okay, if you got black skin, kinky hair, you black. White skin, straight hair, most of the time you're white. Most of the time. There's still some black people that are, that are considered black, but they got straight wavy hair and light skin. So being black is pretty much the main race on this planet. We all know that, right? So this is my thing with this, man. I deconstructed his argument. I ain't gonna say deconstructed. I broke it down into pieces and looked at what he was saying. And there's some truth. First thing he said was, look, racism is a problem in America, right? So the whole, trying to get emotional about, because, had he just said racism is not a problem, then, instantly coon, off the top, people, would have went, oh my God, he's a coon, So instantly he's a coon, right? But the thing is this, with Mr. Whitlock. Now, he says a lot of crazy stuff. I think he says stuff for shock value, for ratings. He wants his show to become controversial. He wants as much, this is good for Fox Sports. Fox Sports 1, whatever the name of the network is. It's good for him, to see stuff like this. So, this is the thing with a guy like this. He's not 100% wrong in what he's saying. The reason I would say that is because he made a point. He said racism has to do with the ability. Now, I know this isn't Webster's definition, but damn it, this is Sub-Zero 3639 upgraded version, right? Look, racism is not just believing that your race is superior. Because, let's be honest, what race doesn't think they're superior to another race, right? When we talk about racism historically in the United States, what we're really referring to is racism of the Webster's Dictionary, Webster's Dictionary version of it, alongside power, wealth, and influence to stop or hinder another race from moving forward because you feel that you are superior, right? So now let's look at LeBron James. Right? What Jason Whitlock said is partially true. And I'll say it's partially true. That's why I don't really have a problem with Jason Whitlock's comments on LeBron James. Because LeBron James is he makes $77 million a year. I mean, dude's probably going to be a billionaire. He's going to always be called a nigger by white people. And see, the reason I'm saying made this video, it wasn't to get into this fray with Jason Whitlock and try to put my little 2 cents out there. My main reason for making this video is because we have to divorce ourselves as African Americans from feeling as though woe is me, somebody doesn't like him. Somebody thinks I'm a nigga. Damn, let me go shoot myself in the head. Somebody doesn't like black people. Boo hoo hoo. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, we've heard that. Like, spray painting nigger on somebody's fence is a problem. I will agree. It's a problem. I would be offended by that. And I would say that technically he was victimized because it was vandalism. I don't know what Jason Whitlock was trying to do, but that's why I say he was partially right, because he's partially wrong. He was victimized. I don't care if you're worth $200 billion. If somebody go and spray paint nigga on your car, that you have been victimized. Now, the emotional trauma of it is just that. But is that going to stop LeBron James from doing any damn thing he want to do? LeBron James could run for... People love him. A lot of people love LeBron James. LeBron James could run for president. Folks would probably vote. Half the country would vote for him. He would have a damn good shot of being a president of the United States if he really wanted to. I know, and that, okay, that doesn't mean... Now, this is what I'm not saying, people. What I'm not saying is there's no such thing as racism and white supremacy. To a certain extent, there is, because people in certain places have that definition that I just read. They have that worldview, that ideology. And so in light of that, they are in a position of power to really cause problems for black people. Namely, the prison industrial complex. Namely, sundown towns. Namely, selling drugs in the black community with the CIA. Namely, the black unemployment rate is double. And quite frankly, a lot of black men in certain cities, it's 30-40% unemployment for black men. So, and a lot of it has to do with, I mean, the other day I was walking, my son's going to a new daycare, right? It's Primrose. He's going to a Primrose daycare. And if you familiar with Primrose, they like real top of the line, right? And I want my son to go there because I want him to be ahead. I want him to be smart. I want him to get the best education. I wanted him to go to at least somewhat black. It has, and this Primrose has some black people in it, so we taking him there, right? So we walked in there. There's this white lady, because it's in an area, in Atlanta where there's still a lot of white people. So there's this white lady standing in the door, and she froze when she saw me walking in like I was a damn pit bull or something, right? Now I knew in my mind what she was thinking. What is he doing here? I'm scared because I had just came from the gym. I had on sweatshirt, some sweatpants, not sweatpants. I had on some shorts and a t-shirts, right? So off the top, when she saw me, oh my God, here comes a thug, And lo and behold, they had already given me the code. So I typed the code. I come on in. She's looking panicky, right? Because my girl was behind me with my son in her hands, carrying it, right? And why am I saying this? I don't care how much money I get. I don't care how far I get in this country. There are gonna always be white people that don't like me. There are gonna always be white people that think that if they say the N-word, that rips our hearts out and makes us cry. They believe that. And for a lot of black people, that's true. You've given them that much power. They really have that much power over a lot of black people. I will admit, a lot of black people they're not strong enough to handle somebody calling them a nigga. They can't. A lot of them break down. They can't take it. I think it's Neely Fuller that said when they call you that, never let them know that they really pissed you off. Don't ever do that. Because see, they when they, and that's the thing. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of black people in this country that are victims of certain, things that white people do. And if you're white, I mean, even Chris Broussard in this interview brought out a great point, about a black felon. I mean, a white felon get just as likely to get a job as a black college graduate with a clean record. What's that tell you? Now, what's that tell you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that tells you that if you don't have any power, wealth, and influence, you will be victimized. And by definition, the people with the least power, wealth, and influence in the United States are African Americans. Thus, we will be the most victims of racism and white supremacy. Mr. Black Men Taking Our Community Back. I always quote this brother. Me and him, I chop it up with him a lot. He made a good point one time. He said, if the racial wealth gap was cut in half, and black people went from an average net worth of 14, 11,000, whatever, up to 75, 80,000, we wouldn't know what the word white supremacy meant. We wouldn't, because we would be wealthy. I'm not wealthy, but we would have more wealth in our community, and that would give us 5 times the amount of wealth that we have now, and that will put us in a financial position of strength. When you're in a position of strength, it's certain things that go with that. Like, for example, let's say a cop pulls LeBron James' son over. I guess this is a conundrum, and I'm gonna tell you why it's a conundrum. Number one, no matter how much money LeBron James gets, if a cop pulls his son over and whoops his ass or shoots him and kills him, the cop he still got a shot of getting off. He got a good shot. Now, because it's LeBron James, he might be in trouble. He might be in trouble if he does that to LeBron James. Because if you kill LeBron James' son at a traffic stop, it's different. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James is beloved by a lot of people in this country. And people will probably rally behind him. But that police union is strong. And they're going to make sure that cop has a great defense. I don't give a damn if it's a clear video where the cop shot the boy and killed him and he didn't even do nothing. They're going to probably fire him. That's probably the most he'll have, is he'll get fired. But he will be, and then if and when he wins the case, he will be right. He'll get his job back. Just like the lady that shot the guy, the unarmed black pastor, with his hands up, and her ass went right back to work. No questions asked, went straight back to work. So that's one side of it, right? But the reason I said it was a conundrum is because, like I said, LeBron James has wealth, power. He has some influence. He could make certain... Look at O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson, by all accounts, should have been locked up under the jail. He probably should have got the chair because it's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman. But because he had the money and could afford the greatest defense team we've ever seen, he walked. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit, remember? So he got off. So to sit and say that wealth does not neutralize one's ability to be at effect of racism, because see, all racism is a lot of times is their system. It's a system, and they act within that system. They tap into that system. Good example, that stupid chick that got mad at LeVar Ball the other day and tried to say, "Are you threatening me?" She did that because she knows the history of this country, and she knows when you tell a 6'5", 270-pound black man that he's threatening her, white men get upset. I mean, it was a chance 60 years ago they'd have took him out and hung him from a tree. And that's what he probably should have said. 60 years ago, if you'd have said that, it took me out and hung me from a tree. So don't put me in that position to say I'm threatening you. You know I'm just talking about as far as words being said back to you. But of course, I would have took it there. But at any rate, this is the thing. If you are black and you get money, you still a nigga. And until enough black people raise their level of financial stability to where we're at a point where we're like the Asians or the Jews and we all got certain wealth, money, then it's going to always be like that. It's going to always be where, if you're black, look at Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, they went at him, and Bill Cosby has enough money to defend himself, because if Bill Cosby wasn't Bill Cosby, he would probably he'd have been locked up a long time ago. First of all, I don't think Bill Cosby did it. I think there's no way you got 60, 70 women just coming at the guy, coming at him. I think a lot of these women slept with Bill Cosby and saw a gravy train. Simple and plain. A lot of them did. He's a black celebrity. He had no reason. He didn't need to sleep with. You Bill Cosby, go back and look at him when he was young and on these shows on TV back in the late 60s, early 70s. He didn't need to do it. That's like saying Trey Songz or somebody raping chicks. Like, it just don't make sense. Not that Bill Cosby was Trey Songz, but what I'm saying, for his day, he was one of the first black men to get in that position. So it was rare. So you think Bill Cosby gonna be in Hollywood in the 60s and 70s talking about drugging white women? And come on, man. I just find that hard to believe. I just really do. But the point I'm trying to make is this. In a nutshell, I believe Jason Whitlock had a valid point in this. When you have money and you have a certain level of notoriety, I do think you need a little bit of hint of notoriety as well. Because if you don't, and you just got money, it's a little different. A cop will still pull your ass over and treat you any kind of way. But if he I never forget, man, I was dating this chick, man. She, there was a guy that won a Heisman back in the 90s, went to Georgia, named Garrison Hurst. And he had a girlfriend that he dated. Real bad chick, man. I had dated her, this was years ago. And so, after they broke up, I dated her. And so, she started talking to me, and we were talking one day. So, she told me, she said, man, he had got a Dodge Viper. Garrison Hurst. Got a Dodge Viper when he had first came out. He gets on the highway punching, going like 100, just shooting by everybody. So the cops come by and they catch him. So he slows down to about 60 or 70. Instead of trying to pull him over, because the tag, she said the tag had Hurst on the back, and it was red, so they knew it was Garrison Hurst. The cop slowed him down, got on the side of him and said, "Great car, dude." Like, that's what they said to him. He's Garrison Hurst. He's at a certain level. So to act like money doesn't change things is, I think, being disingenuous. I think, Chris Broussard was kind of coming from an emotional place in this argument. I think he was really coming from a place of emotion and anger over stuff. And I think he wanted to call your boy coon or whatever. It is what it is, man. I get it. But for the most part, Chris Broussard has some truth. It's not open and shut. Like, if you go on YouTube right now, there's tons of people. You coon. He's a coon. He's a coon. Look, I'm not going to defend Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock said what he said about LeVar Ball because LeVar Ball in that same interview said he's fat and out of shape. That's why Jason Whitlock was angry and went and defended Christine Leahy, whatever her name is, because he felt like this dude took a jab at me, so I'm gonna go at it. Now, I don't know about all these other incidents where they say he defending white people, but I think he jumped into that situation because the dude sat there and said all he could talk about is eating food, hamburgers, how to eat them, whatever he said. That's why he said what he said. It wasn't along the lines of let me go defend my white, whatever you call it. I don't think that's what he was doing. He was pissed off about it. He took it personally after he said what he said in that interview. So I ain't want to make this video too long, but like I say, I'm gonna try to sum this up again. Power, wealth, and influence affects how you get treated in this country. Simple and plain. You give black people the amount of power, wealth, and influence that the Jews got, it'll change overnight. I guarantee. They might still call us a nigga. And they got names they call Jews. You know what I'm saying? They got names they call Hispanics. They got names they call Asians. They got names they call every race of person, even the Irish, known as the white niggers, back in the day. That's what they called them. Irish need not apply. You get your money game up. You get in certain elements in society. You get your money right. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to be like, well, but enough of us need to get there. If one guy gets there, he will still have a certain scope of influence, but he still can be somewhat victimized because he's a loner, like Bill Cosby. That's why it pays when a black man gets somewhere, instead of him holding his nose up in the air, looking down at other brothers, he need to try to help as many brothers as he can. Because when they try to surround him like Bill Cosby, and I don't even have no problem with the stuff Bill Cosby was saying. Shoot me. I don't really have a problem with a lot of stuff Bill Cosby said back in the day. The only reason that people have a problem with Bill Cosby is because Bill Cosby told them the truth. And you can't tell black people the truth. You can't. But there's some truth to having wealth does affect how you get treated in this country. I know that for a fact. I know people in what is it? Guy Montgomery, multi-millionaire got pulled over, and he told the cop, because the cop told me, he said, man, before you get back down, before you get in, before you end this shift, that ticket gonna be deleted out the system. He told him. And the cop was like, whatever. Wrote the ticket. And he told me he'd be damned if that he never had to come to court, nothing. Because he called, made a couple of phone calls. Black dude got the damn ticket taken out the system. Look it up. In Montgomery, a lot of people been having these tickets. A lot of black people was doing that. It's all about having connections. It really was. If you have money, you have wealth, you can affect change. And that is a fact in this country. To deny that is just you put your head in the sand. You really are.
Talk to me and tell me, baby.